Good morning, Devils fans. It is Devils game day, 3 o'clock game. Remember that. It is 3 o'clock at the Rock versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hopefully you're all feeling well. Tummy's still feeling a bit stuffed from yesterday. Hopefully not too hungover for most of you. And just took a nice day to reset, relax, as we got some back-to-back games. Starting off with this totally not must win, as I am never one to use that as terminology, game versus Columbus. Arguably one of, if not the worst team in the league, especially with Damon Severson, what was supposed to be his return, out of the lineup for this one. So he will not get his video and all of that, but he signed a nice, large, massive contract, so he will get that at some point, and would love to be there to greet him back when he does, because he was definitely underappreciated in his time here. But it is a big game for the Devils. Dropped the last couple. I know it is a tumultuous time within the fan base, and this is just one of those games where you look at how the team is performing. I did a quick glance. I did not do as much of a deep dive. I just want to make sure I wasn't completely making stuff up here. But yeah, Columbus, it's pretty much known where they're at. They are not playing very well. If I had any concern in this, well, two, I would say. Biggest one is it's still hockey, and it is random, and the worst team in the league could beat the best team in the league on any given night. And that's playoffs included. I mean, we saw a Montreal team a couple of years back who was just not very good go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's just kind of how the sport runs. We know the vibes were a bit of a struggle coming out of practice yesterday. They got onto the ice a bit later. They had a fairly extensive in locker room discussion amongst the team. Pretty hard look in the mirror of what needs to happen to kind of right the ship here. And it sounds like while it was difficult, it was still productive discussions. So hopefully we can see that translate out onto the ice for not just today's game, but tomorrow as well. As we know, consistency has been a major issue for the team so far this year. For Columbus, 5v5 play is not very good. It is for us. Special teams, not very good. We still have the best power play in the league. Penalty kill has been so-so. And the goaltending for both sides, also not great. So really it could be one of those cases where one team's goalie decides to actually show up for once. I didn't really dig into Columbus, like I said. So I don't know if they've had a goalie steal yet. We haven't. Would be nice to... Oh, man, if we need a goalie steal against Columbus, that would not feel great, though. But, hey, I've been asking for it, and if it's what's needed, I would love to have it. But this is really a team we should skate into the ground. Now, the number two thing that I'm most concerned about in this game, Patrick Laine was benched, and he was not happy about it. And the team's not very happy with him or his play. Johnny Gaudreau has been awful. He has been just truly atrocious. But both of those guys have a very good track record of being very, very good. If there was a single game that they were just going to decide to show up and pop off, it could be this one. We saw Detroit play arguably their best game of the season and what might end up being their best game of the whole season against us the last time out. Could Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau just decide to show up and be the 40, 50, potential 60 goal scorer that we know of Laine, the over 100-point assist machine that Johnny Gaudreau has been? That would stink. Especially with the way our goaltending's been. It's one of those where if those two guys decide to just show up and pop off because you're a healthy scratch, your next game you're going to want to show up real big. And, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Patrick Laine is going to start in this one. 3 o'clock game, so lineup stuff is a little weird. Usually no morning skates and stuff like that. Neither for a team, at least at the time of recording this video. So that'd be my only other concern. I'm really not worried about much other on this Columbus roster, especially with Severson out. Provorov is basically a nobody to me, really. Absolute loser of a player and person, so don't really, I'll say that and he'll pop off or something, but I really don't think he's good enough to do that anymore. So really it's do Laine and Gaudreau refine their game somehow in this one. Johnny Hockey wanted to show up against a team that are a fan base that gives him a lot of crap, even though I don't care that he didn't come to us. He was never obligated to. He was a Flyers fan growing up, so really did not care too much about getting him anyway. And I'm very happy that we didn't, because I think our roster turned out a lot better without him. Now, Laine, we'll see. Maybe he just which there seems to be a tumultuous relationship there right now with him and at least upper management in Columbus. So we'll see what type of form he shows up in this one. And then again, always first game, literally day after Thanksgiving and 3 o'clock. You're probably going to assume most of the guys were drinking. It's a home game for us as well. So probably we know group picture came out. A bunch of the Americans, none of the Swiss guys were there. Don't know if they did their own thing or just did not care at all to do a Thanksgiving thing. But most of the Americans, Canadian guys got together for a big thing, families included, wives, girlfriends, kids. So that was great to see. You love to see that team bonding. Hopefully did not drink too much heading into this one. And it's a 3 o'clock start. So even if you did, you don't really have a ton of recoup time here. So hopefully some liquid IVs going this morning pretty hard for them, if so. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, this is just a game where you're like, if we lose, you don't know where the season's heading, because this is just a team with if we were winning, we had a winning record, it'd be like, we still really should and need to win this one. But if you lose it, it's like, it's hockey. But where the season's at, it's like, it's hockey, but oh boy, we needed those 2 points really bad. So, I'm going to go as far as to say that if we don't win this one, I'm not even going to record a video tomorrow morning. Fingers crossed, I'm still going to record a video, because I don't really go too low on losses. Even if we tanked out this season somehow, I'll be here every morning talking about how the year's going and what we can expect going forward. And I will remain optimistic until we are literally mathematically eliminated. I still don't think that's going to be the case. I think we will clinch a playoff spot with a little bit of runway. I thought it was going to be a lot more runway than it's going to end up being, but still with a little runway by the end. We will right the ship early enough that it should not be too stressful by the end. So that's really going to do it for this one. I'm still recouping a bit from yesterday too. Early game, don't want to make this too long of a video, and it's Columbus, right? There's not too much to talk about. Their best guys are... I'll touch Fantilli. Hopefully he doesn't pop off, but his 5v5 numbers have been fairly atrocious too. He has been a power play guy as well, kind of similar to that Cooley mold as it's been. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's a good one. 3 o'clock game. It's one of those where, if it's a big stinker, 7 o'clock game, stinker, you go right to bed. 3 o'clock game, it's a big stinker. Still got a few hours at least before you got to close out the day. But at least it's a game tomorrow either way. So we can ride the momentum into a nice big win, or completely forget about it and never talk about it again. So that's going to be my direction for this one. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning, as always, and forever. Let's go down.